Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today we are going to be doing a video on the making of this heart resin ornament. I just made this, and we are making this actual ornament in today's video. And I wanted to go ahead and at the beginning of the video let you guys see what it is we're going to be making. So please, I hope you'll stay tuned for the entire video. It's going to be pretty awesome. I think that this turned out absolutely beautiful, and it was so fun to make. And I think you guys, we just used this simple heart silicone mold, and this is what we got out of it. So I just want to ask you guys, please go ahead and watch the whole video if you will. Give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Even if you're already subscribed, go in and check your settings and make sure your notification bell is turned on, because what happens is every now and then, why it happens I don't know, but those bells will shut off, the notifications will shut off, and you will stop getting notifications on my videos. And so then that ends up in less views and all of that stuff. As far as my channel is concerned, I'm trying really, really hard to get my channel growing. My next number is going to be, let's see, 15,000 or 16. No, I think it's 15,000. I don't have my phone here in front of me, so I can't check it. So I've got like 400 subscribers to go to get there. So you guys would be doing me a solid if you would just hit that like button, make a comment, hit a share. The more of that you do, the better it is for my channel. And so I would greatly appreciate it, you guys. As you know, I'm kind of going through some struggles right now. Need to find a way to start bringing in some extra income to pay for things. So you guys would really be helping me out by doing that. Stop over also at my Etsy shop see if there's anything that you would be interested in purchasing over there. Most of the things that I make on my channel go into my Etsy shop. Sometimes they don't get there. Sometimes they sell before they even get in the shop. Because I do display my pieces on certain Facebook groups and things like that, even before the video comes out. And that's okay, because I just need to sell these items, so however I do it, it's great. And you guys have been so helpful to me. I've got, subscribers that are, shopping at my store regularly, and I appreciate it more than you could possibly ever know. Please keep the prayers coming. I need your prayers, guys. I still don't have a definitive answer, but I got my report, as you know, and it's not the best report I could have gotten. And so now I need to have some biopsies done, and we'll see where we go from there. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, I have been seeing on Facebook, all over Facebook, in the Reels section, there's videos on something called soursop. It's a fruit that's grown like in Indonesia or someplace. Anyway, what they're saying is this soursop is really good for cancer patients, and it actually stops the growth of cancer. I don't know if it's true or not, but it also helps with the health of the people who are going through chemo. It helps with side effects of chemo, all that kind of stuff. And people are swearing by it, saying that their cancer's gone and it hasn't come back. So I thought, you know what, if I have to go through all that stuff, I will try anything and everything if I think it might help. So if any of you have tried it, or you know anybody who's tried it, could you let me know? Just leave in the comments section here, and let me know if you've tried it and what you think. I would greatly appreciate that. It would be tremendous. So guys, keep up the prayers and let's get to doing this video. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and we are doing a resin project today. I was lucky enough to get this heart mold in the mail from my friend Cindy, and I am going to use this today to make a ornament. So this is sort of a Christmas in July kind of a video. I've been kind of waiting for Happy Bird to get her Christmas in July stuff going. I've been kind of surprised that she hasn't done any July videos yet, but I keep checking, so you guys keep checking with her because she's got the greatest Christmas videos. She does some beautiful Christmas videos, so be on the lookout for those. I will be too, and as soon as I start seeing her videos, I will let you guys know, because I'm certain that you'll want to see them too. So I'll be on the lookout, and you guys be on the lookout, and please let me know if you start seeing that she is doing some of her Christmas videos, because that's mostly what her channel is about Christmas and ornaments and gifts, little Christmassy gifts that you can make for your friends and family. And it's really great because a lot of the videos that she does, they're low cost. You know, a lot of the stuff you can get from the Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, and she teaches you ways that you can make inexpensive gifts that look like $1 million. So, and she is just the sweetest person in the whole wide world. I love Lori so much. I know I've told you guys before, but she helped me get started with my YouTube channel, and she was so kind to me in assisting me on how to do certain things, and I couldn't have even started my channel had it not been for Lori. So Lori, if you see this video, thank you so much. I know she's gonna be working on a resin project here soon too. She had mentioned that to me a couple weeks ago, so can't wait to see what she does, because I know it will be absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited to see what she's going to put together there. So this video today is going to be a shabby chic heart, and we are going to first of all put a layer of resin in the bottom of this heart, and I am using my BS resin. This is UV resin, and this is what I love the most right now. I've been reusing my little bottles that I bought it in because my dear friend Sherry was sweet enough on my birthday, for my birthday, to send me a 1,000 gram bottle of this resin. So thankfully I did save the little bottles so that I could pour that resin into these and I can work with it easier. So I love having the big bottles that I can transfer into my little bottles. But anyway, this is what we're going to be using today. You will need some B7000 or E6000. Either one will work. I prefer the B7000 mainly because of the tip. It's got that thin tip that does just a perfect job with spreading just enough glue on there that it doesn't ooze as much, and it's just wonderful. I love it. So this is my favorite resin here. So what we're going to do, I'm trying to make sure there's no dirt or anything. There wouldn't be dirt in this because it's never been used. I got a brand new mold, so I just had some fuzz in there from the green leaves when I was cutting the extra pieces off of those. So what we're going to do, I really feel like the underside. This side is going to end up being the top. We'll see how it comes out, but I'm trying to squeeze my resin out very gently. I just want a thin layer of resin at the bottom. And this heart is kind of big, you guys, so it's going to take a bit of resin to do this one. But that's okay, because I have a feeling that this ornament is going to be worth it. I've gone through probably 3 sizes, this bottle size of the resin that Sherry sent me already. You guys, I love working with resin. And with everything that I've got kind of going on right now, both physically and mentally, with, you know, trying to figure out what's going on, you know, as far as getting diagnosed for either breast cancer or hopefully just breast cysts that need to be either drained or removed. Well, they can't be drained because they are calcified. So if it's cancer, obviously, you know, I am of the belief that just take them both. Get them out of it, because I have spots in both breasts. And so, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if I've got cancer anywhere in there, I want both of them gone. Why risk? You know, I'm 63 years old, you guys. I don't need those things. I'm not worried about, you know, the womanhood or any of that stuff. I'm a woman. Everybody knows it. I am not looking to, you know, show a whole bunch of cleavage or anything like that. So I really am fine with having them just removed and moving on. I'm hoping that I'm hoping against hope that I'm not going to have to go through chemo. That is my biggest fear right there, is chemo. It's not something I've ever wanted to have to go through. I've seen people go through it, and it's not easy on your body, for sure. Now we're taking our torch here, and you see I am barely touching this with my torch, and I'm going to get in here. I see a couple of spots where it's not completely touching the wall, so I'm just going to go in here and just kind of play with it a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe the outside of my bottle, because I am sticking the nose of my bottle right inside the resin. That kind of helps me to not get as many bubbles. So that's why I do that. I do see a couple of bubbles over here. Okay, I think I'm just looking here to make sure I get all the bubbles I can see. Okay, so we've got a nice thin layer of resin there. I've got my UV lamp right here. It's a Let's Resin lamp, and it's got a top and bottom carriage. And then I've got my plastic pan inside of there. So I'm going to turn on the bottom side real quick, if I can. And I think I got it on the longest time, which is 5 minutes. And now I'm just going to take this and set it right in there. And we're going to cook both sides at the same time. So it gets the underside and it gets the top. So 5 minutes in my lamp. These are some of the items that I plan on using once we get the heart all resined. Some of this is going to go on the inside of the heart. Well, possibly. No, you know what? I think I've decided I'm not going to do that. I was going to put this inside the heart. But here's the thing. I like to put these on the outside because I like to have them come off of the heart just a little bit so that I can utilize these two bottom holes in order to add dangles. Because you know, you guys, I gotta have a dangle in anything that's gonna hang. So I'm gonna take right now, and I am going to increase the size of these holes right here at the bottom. And I needed 2 of these. I needed to take 2 of them out, and I didn't, because I want to put one at the top as well, so that I can put my my hanger through it, whatever I'm going to hang it, you know, with. And I'm thinking on this one I might just use, instead of using my ball chain, I think I might just use ribbon. I'm not sure. You know, I do love using ball chain because it really is nice to work with. And it lasts well. It's not going to fall off. It's not going to break off. And then here I'm going to go 1 hole down. This one would go this way. So I'm going to go, not the top holes, I'm going to go with the second hole right here. And I'm going to increase the size of that on the other one. And what I'm doing is I'm basically just rounding out this hole and giving whatever I'm going to put through there the space it needs to go through. And I'll be able to use ribbon or ball chain on this. Either one I decide. So, make sure that's flat. Because sometimes when you're putting those holes in, you can bend it a little bit. And we want them as flat as they can be. I'm going to take these roses. I was thinking about resining these roses. And I'm still trying to think about that, if I want to resin them or not. And I'm going to show you, if you guys saw my video that I did where I did resin some of my roses, this is what they look like when they're resined. And then this rose is the same as this one. So that's the difference in the 2 roses. These are going to last longer. They're going to hold up better because they're resined and they're hard as a rock. And they look very, very pretty with the resin on them. So, wait till you see what I'm doing with that one, you guys. I'm going to do a video on that too. I think that's going to be my next video. I have a box that I'm going to do. But if I do one of these, I got to do all of them. And I just don't know. Part of me wants to leave them paper because I want to leave them looking at this lighter color. You know, so I think on this, I think I'm not going to resin them. I think I'm just going to use the resin in the heart. Make sure the heart's not bending or you know, curving up. And I probably shouldn't have done that, because now what I've done is I've given this a space on the other side where resin's going to go through here, and it's going to go underneath, and it's going to create a, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull this off, and that's so pretty on that side. Look at that. And we definitely do want this to be our top side. So here's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this under my lamp for just a minute, just to get the top of that was on the bottom side really, really cured. Because sometimes I feel like this underside doesn't cure the best. And I think what I'm going to do, here's what we're going to do too. I'm going to make 2 of these. And then when I start the other one, this one, whoops, this is some Let's resin. So we're going to try both resins, you guys, and we're going to see which one we like better. This way I can test them side by side. So this is Let's resin, UV resin. It's a little thicker. And I do tend to get a few more bubbles with this, but if I'm careful, maybe that won't happen. And a big part of me is saying maybe I should just go ahead and fill this one and let it just, the whole thing get resined and filled. But I do have something that I think I might like to use. Cindy sent me some, or not Cindy, Cecilia, my friend Cecilia sent me some resin supplies. And she sent me some beautiful mica powders and stuff. So I am thinking maybe I'll go grab some of those mica powders and we will see what we get with that. I'm going to get these bubbles popped on this. It doesn't look real bubbly, you guys. It looks pretty good. And this one I've got all good and cured. And let me go get my mica powders, because I want to see if I want to mix a little bit of those up and then pour it into that resin and see what we get. Oh, I forgot I've got that box right over here on the other side of my camera. So let me grab them real quick. I'm hoping I have some pinks in here. Let me find them. These I'm not sure what they do. Those are just painting markers. Okay, find the mica powders. Okay, here they are. I do have some pink in here. Maybe some pink and some white. So here's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to take, I've got 2 little cups here that I'm going to fill, not fill, I'm just going to put a very little bit of resin and mica powder, tiny bit of mica powders, because these go a long way, you guys. And little tip or trick, you guys, you can literally go to the Dollar Tree and get some of the, what do you call it? Eyeshadows. They carry the eyeshadows that are powders in little jars. Same thing as this. It's the same thing, and you can use it instead of mica powders. Go get it for, you know, whatever price they're charging these days. I hear their prices went up. I haven't been there since they raised the price from $1.25 to $1.75. But I have heard that they did. Sorry, you guys, I'm just trying to get the white out here. I don't want these two. So we will put those back in the box. And I'm bummed because I broke the box. I mean, I didn't break it, but I did tear it a little bit on these corners. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to take my Let's resin, and like I said, I'm just going to put a little bit here and a little bit here. That's it. Just a teeny little bit. And let's see. Sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to get to my toothpicks back here. Just getting toothpicks because they're closer for me to grab. Normally I would use my little sticks that Sherry sent me because they do work better, but they're not right in front of me. So we're gonna use these right now. Okay, now how does this, I think you gotta open this way, and I am so afraid this is gonna go flying all over the place, but because it's got the little foamy thing on top, if I can just get that to peel back safely and carefully. See, oh, there it goes. I'm gonna put some white right there. It got on the little foam piece. So let's grab, here we go. This is what I should have got in the first place. We've got our little sticks here, and I am going to use ever so small an amount of this mica powder because you don't need a lot. That's a tiny bit of resin, so you really only need a little bit. Of course, I sent it up there. A little tiny bit of the mica powder. I shook too much of it off. Okay, so we've got white. And let me put this lid back on, and it's a really pearly color. You can see, I did get some on my hand. You can kind of see the sheen. So it's going to be a little bit pearly. And I'll see, you know, what it looks like once I stir it, but it's better to use not enough in the beginning than too much. So now I've got my pink here. And I can't get under that because it folded down instead of up. Oh, she's already opened these before, and it's just laying on top there, so I wished I'd have realized that. I think she's opened them before. It looks like these were just kind of barely sitting on top of it. And we're going to put some pink in there. And I'm going to stir. I'm going to set this pink aside right here. I'm not even going to close it yet. I'm going to stir this in. Yeah, I don't think I got quite enough in there, so we're going to go ahead. And the thing is you don't want to use too much when you're using UV resin either, you guys. UV resin doesn't cure as well if you use a lot of pigment in it. So you want to be really careful with how much you put in, because then your resin may not cure properly. And then you're going to have ooey gooey resin that doesn't work out, and you got to throw your project away. I mean, usually you can kind of still save it if you know what to do. I have saved a few projects that way, but that's a video for another day. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a little more white into that one too. I think I added more white to begin with. There. I mean, I see some of these guys and these, you know, that do these big projects, and they just dump a whole bunch of the mica powders into their projects, into their resin, and that's okay. They're using regular resin, and it's all going to cure at the same rate, even with the mica powders, but the UV resin is not. So there's our white, and there's our pink. I think they both look pretty, not over crazy, overdone. And all I'm going to do with this, you guys, is I'm just going to sort of drizzle a little bit. Maybe just do some dots. Okay. And then let's put some white in here. And I'm just going to kind of, I have an idea of how I want to do this, so let's see if it works. I've watched enough videos on doing this kind of thing. You'd think I'd have it down by now, but I have always been afraid to do too much of this with my UV resin, because I have had some projects not turn out because I used too much pigment. Okay. All right, so I just don't have enough space here. I've got too much stuff out. Whoopsies, whoopsies. And I definitely don't want to spill this all over my goodies here. Okay. We will just push those off to the side there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a toothpick. I'm going to bring you guys in just a little bit. And I'm just going to take it and sort of swirl. You see what I'm doing? And look at how pretty those swirls are looking. Oh my word. That is beautiful. So I really like it, and I think I can see where I could use a little bit more of the pink in a couple spots and a little bit more of the white. But this is where people tend to start going overboard and they get too much, and then they get a muddy mess. And we don't want to wait too long to get this started curing, because the longer it sits in there, the more muddy it can tend to get. And by muddy, I mean it'll all just kind of start flowing together and it won't look good. So we're going to put a little more white in here. And this way I'm pretty much using up most of my resin here. And I think I'll just kind of take the white and let that kind of come over to this side a bit more. One more spot. There we go. Okay. And we'll get a couple dots of pink over there. All right, that's all I'm going to do, you guys. And I'm going to swirl that in. And you can go kind of back through some of these if you think they're like a little bit wide or they didn't swirl very nicely. You can kind of go back through them and add a little swirl into it. It's not going to ruin it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to use my torch again. I definitely see bubbles, so we want to get rid of those. All right, I think that's good enough. So now, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my top part of my lamp and I'm just going to put this over the top of it real quick. And I wish I had sat it on top of the plastic piece, but even then I might have had some shake up and swirling around and stuff that I did not want, so. But I really want to get that bottom lamp on it as well. But I think for right now, okay, I've got 5 minutes on here. I'm just going to go ahead and let that go, and I'll be right back. Okay, so while that one is under the lamp, I decided we're going to go ahead and we are going to get some resin. I'm holding this up high because I don't want it right next to the lamp. I'm going to put a layer of resin right on top of this and thicken this piece up a little bit. Not a lot, it doesn't need a lot. But I do want it to be thick enough that it just runs up to the edges easily. Now I just have to be careful how I'm holding this, so I have to be able to see it under my other lamp in order to make sure. I'm pulling it aside, you guys. I'm gonna pull it aside and hold it over away from the other lamp a little bit more because I'm afraid it's gonna start curing. And then I'm going to have a bunch of lumpy bumpies in it, and I don't want that. I don't want to ruin it. So I'm just holding it to the side, going right up to these edges, just like that, to make sure there's no weird edges. Okay, I've got it all covered, and I'm just going to lay it. Oh, you know what? I I need, let's see, where is it? I need my pad because, well, I can't even do that right now. There's nothing I can do. Okay, I'm going to pull the other one out. I'm going to put my pad in my lamp. And we're only going to do the top of this one right now. And I'm kind of rolling it to the edges, making sure it kind of gets up to those edges. And I'm just going to pop it under there and let it cure. You can see I got it on my fingers a little bit. No big deal. Trying to keep the resin off of my fingernails. Look at how cute they are, you guys. Oops, little butterflies. Aren't they cute? I love them. Okay, this one I feel like it's pretty darn good. Look at that pretty shimmery bit that's in there. I think that looks really, really pretty. I was almost happier with it though before I added more resin into it, because as you're curing it, it does tend to spread a little bit, but it's still going to be gorgeous, so I'm not going to worry about it. So we've got this. I don't really think I want it any thicker. I don't want these to be super thick. There's no need for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop her out of there and show you guys. Look at how gorgeous that is. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So what I'm going to do with this one, I do have some decals here that I want to use. And I think I'm gonna use a couple of these. I don't know that I want to use real big ones. Maybe I can find one on, I think I really like this one. So we're gonna cut that out of there. And maybe one of these small ones too. And this is still kind of hot, but I'm hoping that won't affect the sticky on the decal, because we're just going to pop it on there and pop it right back off. And I think I'm going to do this on this side. Or do I want it? Yeah, on this side. Debating on, do I want it to hang over the edge or not? I don't think I do. Just going to pull it down, and I have this nice piece that I can get a hold of. Whoops, let's get that one back down. Okay, come on, stay down. This little leaf does not want to stay where it's at. There we go. Well, it did peel a little piece of it up, but you can't tell on the leaf, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to keep playing with it and really ruin it. You can't even tell. It looks beautiful. Okay. I'm going to press down a couple of these spots that look like they have little bubbles under them. And if you have big bubbles or ones that you can really see, you guys, you can take a razor blade and just prick it, or a pin, whatever you've got. And I don't think I have either one right here. I'll take my little sharp scissors here, and I've got one right there. Just going to go like that, and then when I do this, it presses it right down. And you're not going to see a hole, so don't worry about that. I don't think I got a hole in that one. You need that hole so that you can get that air to escape. There we go. There was only a couple of them in there. And then, let's see, do I want one more of these? I know I do. Just which one? I think I'm going to take this one. Or no, you know what? I'm going to grab one of these smaller ones. And we will go with this one. And I got a nice bunch of these decals. The package came with a lot of them. So I thought that was really pretty cool. And I just need to see, okay, where do I want this to go? Do I want it up in here or do I want it down here? I feel like I wish I had put it behind that one, honestly, if I'm being honest. But I think what I'm going to do instead is put it right there. And we're just going to pull that right up. There we go. Okay. And you can see there's a little bit hanging over the edge. I'm just going to press it over and leave it there. So there's what that looks like. And I am going to back you guys off just a little bit now. So here, we'll do this. Look at how pretty that is. It's gorgeous. Now the other one is going to have just the decals on the front. And that got nice and cured on the back side. I still see where I think I probably want another puddle of resin. Oh, it's got a dip right there. Oh, darn. Let's see if we can round that out a little bit and get it to be the right way. Well, you know what? We might not mess with this one right at this moment, but you know what? I think I'll work with that one later. So here's a piece of rhinestone chain. Oops, this is the one I cut off for this, I think. It's a pretty long piece, but we're going to put these rhinestones right together like that. We're not going to leave them far apart. So I'm using a lot of rhinestone chain on this because of the way that I want it to look. But that's what I want, and so that's what we're going to do. Sometimes I do spread them apart, other times I don't. It just depends on really what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to take my B7000 and we're going to get around this heart here all the way around because I've already cut the rhinestone chain. I actually cut it around the silicone mold because this is the first one of these I've done. So I did cut it right around the mold. And so I may end up having to cut 1 or 2 rhinestones off, but that's okay. I'll just save them and use them on something else that I need a couple of extra rhinestones for. So, or sometimes I just put rhinestones into some of my other projects to fill spaces or whatever, like when I'm making my embellishments and things. And it's nice to have some, if they're already cut, not to waste any more off of a chain. And we've got our silicone pad underneath here already. So we're going to set that down just like that. Wipe this top off and pop our needle back in there and close that up. And we're going to take our rhinestone chain and we're going to go around the whole heart. And it should be facing up, not sideways. Please don't put your rhinestones on sideways, you guys. It's such a sad thing when I see that they're on sideways so that they're pointing that way. It just, ugh. I don't like it. Because you're kind of wasting them, I feel, because you don't really see them in the front. In the front, where all the pretty stuff is exactly where you want to see those rhinestones too. So you want them facing up with the pretty embellishments and all of the other things that are on your ornament. Okay, so now I'm just trying to make sure this is all pointing in the right direction. We'll pop it up there and then push them together. Yeah, I'm sure I have to cut some of this off. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the fact that the outside of the mold is going to be the whitest part. I think maybe just one, it looks like. Well, that's not too bad. Not too shabby. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. I only had to cut one off. That's awesome. Okay, so what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want those rhinestones to, you want that adhesive to cure and get those rhinestones on there really well before you start messing around with this anymore. So for right now, we are going to take a short break. For you, a shorter break than me, and we're going to let that start to cure. Maybe we'll use that somewhere on the top of this. And then you'll see I'm going to put this at the bottom, and actually I will be covering up some rhinestones doing this. I know some of you get mad about that too, but that's okay. It's all right. Sometimes you have to cover up some parts to finish it off, but look at how pretty that looks. And then this one, actually this is, yeah, this is the bottom one here. And I've got the two holes going off the edge, and we want that because that's where I'm going to hang some kind of dangle off of. And this piece will go kind of up under it there, and we'll use this piece to hang it from. But look at that, you guys. What a beautiful piece of work. Now actually, you know what? We can do some stuff. I just thought about that. We can add some of our embellishments. I need to see what I've got here. I took a bunch of stuff out. I cut up some of these flowers from my lace that Sherry gave me. I cut this off of some lace that Deanna gave me. I love them both so much. I can't use everything, obviously. And we can't use too much of this because we'd be covering everything up. Now what I could do is maybe go to this side with this stuff, but I always tend to go this way, and it's fine because the flowers can just kind of poke out from it. That's a pretty big one. This one's not as big. Okay. Look at that, you guys. That is gorgeous. I love this piece, though, that Deanna gave me, but I'm just afraid it's too big. I could take the flower. This is the flower that I love so much in this piece. Maybe I can take and just separate the flower from the leaf here. And maybe take these leaves right here off. Okay. And then we could put that like right there. I love the way that looks. Oh my goodness. And then maybe just take, we'll separate these two because they don't have to be together. And put this one sort of coming over the top of it. That looks gorgeous. Or maybe what I should do is put this one underneath like that. And then put this one right there and let those leaves kind of come up between. And add this one up here. Where's the other one? Oh, this is the one I wanted at the top. I think I prefer that one there. And then add this last little flower to come to the top. Maybe it needs to come from underneath. Something like that, but then we still have our other roses. Yikes. That I fully intend on using. So I think this is what we're going to do. We're just going to try and kind of try and separate things out a little bit here. So let's see if I use one of these here and kind of put that underneath there. Looking to see if I have any white. Something was stuck to the bottom of this box. Any of the white. I only have one teeny tiny one, and I don't really want the teeny tiniest ones. That's one of our foam flowers that I got from Deanna. I don't want yellow ones. I do have one pretty cherry blossom there. There's one of my white ones. Okay, let me put that box back. Like that. I love these cherry blossoms. They're so beautiful. Particularly these ones that are two-toned. And I don't want to completely cover up my roses here. So maybe that should go sort of under there, like that. Yes. Sometimes I don't think clearly right at the get-go. And then I still have this little white one here. I don't know if I'm going to use it because it doesn't really go with the paper flowers. Not going to use the green leaves because I do actually want some of this definitely poking out the side. because it looks so beautiful. Oh, we've got this one. Wait a minute. Question is, do I want it like this? I think my husband's home, so I'm going to go off with the camera for a few minutes and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can't get this done. All right, I do have this too. This is so pretty. But I don't want to cover up all of my rhinestones either. But that looks pretty like that. And then if I put this, you know what? Maybe I need to cut this piece off. I feel like this is just weighing it down just a little bit too much. So if I do this here, whoops, a little too far down. I just got to get a good idea of what I really want this to look like. I want to use this flower because I feel like it goes better with the flowers that are in this already. Maybe I need to just come down here. I just want to look and see what it looks like with the flowers coming off the bottom instead of going up so far. That looks actually quite pretty right there. I'm so used to, though, when I do these kinds of pieces, you know what, we're going to cut off this bottom piece too on this because we don't really need that. We'll save that pearl. Don't want to lose that. And just let that come up here. Pop. I really like this flower too, though. And I don't want to cover this all up with flowers. I think that's why I'm having a hard time with that. I'd kind of like to have it really showing wherever I use it. Whereas these, I've got a lot of these flowers, and I don't feel so quite as bad using them up. Like that, and then maybe that there. Nope. Okay, let's move this up just a tad. Pop that beauty in down there. I'm going to keep those leaves with that one. Nope, we're going to leave that with that one too, because that's what it goes with, and it's going to look way prettier with that piece. So I think this is kind of where we're going to go with this. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull these off. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to resin this on. So I'm just going to put it right here so that those holes come off the bottom here. And I'm going to get my BS resin. And I'm going to try and resin this maybe to these rhinestones right here. I think that's where I'm going to have the best luck. We'll find a couple of spots where those holes kind of drip down into the rhinestones. And that piece went just a little overboard. So let's get this, and I'm gonna wipe that real quick. And I'm gonna wipe that off the silicone there. All right. I'm gonna try and make this sit in the right spot. And also, I don't know if I want to make this come on front. Or I think I want this to go in the back. So for right now, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get this secured real quick. And then once I turn it over to resin this piece on, we will resin the back side of this. If for whatever is kind of hanging over here, we'll resin that. I just need to get it on here long enough to get that piece secured, that corner piece secure. So it's on there. Gonna flip her over. And I'm going to put this one on the back here. And we want the point I'm just trying to bend it in just a little bit so that it lays down on the heart. And really what I need to do is I need to get a good look at it, and I don't want it to show through. So that's my other issue. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to drizzle some resin right here. And I'm going to get that secured. Stuck. Those magnets that are on these lights are the really strong magnets, and so they stick on the lamp itself, and then you have to have two hands to get it off. And then we're going to get some resin on the other side right here. Okay, and it is in the middle. It's a little bit bent, but that's okay. I can bend that back. All right. I really want to do this one too. I really do. Okay. I'm going to take this and just bend it back a little bit so that it's straight. And then the other thing I am going to do as well is I'm going to take along these edges in some spots. I'm going to get some resin on there. And resin these rhinestones. I'm going to have to wipe it because I can see I kind of went out too far there. But I don't want to spend too much time playing around with this either. And what I think I'm going to do, let's go ahead, I'm going to pop this under the lamp and I'm going to let that cure, and then I'm going to take and I am going to put a layer of resin over the top to cover up those decals. And in the meantime, why don't we, let's see, I wonder if I used these wired pearls. I don't know if this will even fit around here, but these would be kind of pretty on one too. It's not pink, it's more of a peachy colored pearl. That's the only thing that makes me not want to use these wired pearls, because those would be so pretty around the outside of that. Look. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I got that on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to resin the top of this with my BS resin. And then I'm going to pop this under the lamp and let the top of it cure really well. I'm going to turn my lamp off right now so that it's not trying to cure while I'm putting resin on it. We're just going to let it kind of get to the edges there. Not a super thick layer. We don't want to put a real thick layer of resin here. We're going to push it to the edges. We'll just use one of our little sticks to do that. And I want to see under my lamp, I want to get the center part of this sort of completely covered. And I don't want to mess around with this very long. I really don't. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to push it. I was going to use a stick, but I decided this brush will do more of the surface at one time. So I want to use the brush. And it'll probably do a cleaner job of getting that resin to the edge. Now I am dripping a little bit of resin out here. I can see where I kind of had it I was holding it crooked and it was going over to the bottom here. I can tell I've got a little bit of a pool of resin down there, so we're just going to kind of pull that resin up, get over here, and then I will get my paper towel, or my wipey I should say, and I'll get it over here and clean up the underbelly so that it's not dripping, not causing drips that are going to show up once we put it under the lamp. Okay, so that's that. Get my wipe. This is the spot where I saw the drips. And as long as it's not dripping too much, we won't have a mess on the underside. Oh, goodness. And you can see we've got drips right here. And I'm going to grab a wet wipe. That one is no longer wet. I'm going to wipe this up a little bit. Uh-oh. And I've gotten pretty good about keeping the wipes right next to me here. I don't think we're going to do this one today. We're just going to put that aside. I'll probably do that tonight, and if I get it done, I will add pictures at the end of the video, and I'll show you that one too. Okay, what dangle do we want to use on this? I don't think I want a gold one. I want something silver to go with the corners that I put on there. Although most of my dangles have some gold in them. That one might be real pretty. Oh, I do have these that I made. Now, I don't know if these are too big or not, but remember these? That might be gorgeous on here, which means I didn't have to do this, but I like that anyway, so I'm okay with that. So let's see, the top looks pretty good, and you guys saw what I forgot to do. I didn't use my torch on the top. And I do have some bubbles. Doggone. Let's see. That's pretty, but it's quite big and quite heavy. This one looks really pretty. But it's still a little too big. I haven't found the right thing for these yet, you guys, and I keep looking, I keep trying to get something perfect to put those on, but I just haven't found it yet. Let's see. I do have those too. Okay, that's okay. We're going to go ahead and we are going to finish this. So let's get moving. So those are not going to get used on here this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this beautiful piece here, and we're going to pop that right there. And let's see, this is going to go with those. Do I want to go like that and then take this and use it down here. I don't think so. I think we're going to go like that. I'm going to pack a little bit of resin here underneath this. Just like that. And I'm going to take that off and I'm going to put this under the lamp for just a minute. And this is sliding, so we're going to slide it all back together. And just get it under there long enough to get that sort of cured on top and bottom. And then at the end of this, you guys, we are going to pop this under that lamp for a good 5, maybe even 10 minutes, just to make sure that we get the entire thing good and cured. And then this one's going to go right here, like that. Yes. And then let me cut a piece of this off. You guys know how much I love this trim. I only bought 1 yard of it this time because I couldn't really afford to buy any more than that, but that's okay. I'm using it and I'm enjoying it, so I guess I've kind of got myself so afraid, you guys, that I'm going to end up having to do, if I end up having cancer, having to do chemo and not feeling like crafting. And I'm so scared that I'm not going to be able to craft and I'm going to lose everything that I worked so hard to build on my channel. So if anything like that happens, you guys, promise me that you'll keep watching the old videos. You'll go back and watch some of the ones you haven't seen in a while. And just keep the channel going, you guys. And tell your friends to go over and watch some of my videos and subscribe. Because that is what will keep me going if I'm unable to craft for any length of time. Okay. All right, we're gonna start gluing these on. So first, we're gonna go with this big one right there. Next is the white one. And then we'll pop this one in there. Right up under the white rose there. And that's our little cherry blossom. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on them. And I am going to glue them down, and then I will resin them down once I get everything together. Beautiful. It's so, so pretty. Where's the other one that I had right there? What did I do with it, you guys? Did I bury it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see, how did I want this one to go? just like that. So I'll just pop some glue under there and hold it down. And then I have this little piece here. And I think we're just going to let that kind of come out right there. That's a perfect spot for that one. Okay. And now, I'd love a couple of pearls, please. I like that one there. And then I feel like I want one of these bigger ones back here. That one's got green stuff sticking out. How about a pink one? Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's pink and kind of marbly looking. That's very pretty. I don't see another one of those in here. Darn. Oh wait, haha, I found another one. Let's see. I think maybe I'll pop this one in on the outside. Oops, now I'm gonna... Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pop some glue in there. Get you in. And pop some glue in there. Oh, my doggie's laying at the door. And there it goes. And then we want this other pink one right up here at the top. And then I'll get some resin in there and we'll get them all stuck down. Okay. I'm not sure if I want this piece in here or not. I think it might be just a little bit too big. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna work out so well. Let me see what I think of this. Well, with this one I have to cut off the earpiece, the backing. Which way are these gonna hang? So if I use this one, it's gonna need to go right down here. And of course we're not gonna be using those holes, because this one is just going to get resined right to that corner piece, but in the same spot that I would have had the dangle coming out of had I used a regular dangle. So that's kind of how that one would hang. I feel like it's gonna end up getting resined down, and it's not gonna look right. Okay, this one, I'm gonna take the backing off. And we've got a rhinestone at the top here, and then the bow and the stuff, but I'm thinking maybe just the bow, cut the rhinestone off and just put the bow on right there. Or what else did I have? I know I've got some other things here. Um, you know, it's funny because I'm always running across all of these dangles that I have, and every time I want them for something, I can't find them. It's ridiculous. I do have a couple of these left as well. And those are always, always, always gorgeous. And what I could do is I could put a white flower right there just because I have one. But I think that's too much. But it would need something over the top of that. I have this, but that's just too single ply. I don't know, you guys. Part of me says if I put this on there, I put it to the back like that. Nope, I don't like it, you guys. What am I gonna do? The other thing I could do, which I know would be very pretty, is to take a piece of this. I gotta get it apart from all these other bits up here. I could take a piece of this and do like a, just have it sort of hanging wildly like that. Or I could even attach it right up to the heart and just have those pearls hanging down like that. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is gorgeous. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna cut it off right What is going on here? Okay, I had it the wrong way. Okay, so this one, we're going to cut this right up to where there's one pearl or one rhinestone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. And we're going to cut these two little dangly pieces a little bit and cut this one right there. And get this out of our way. And this is silver too, so it'll go nicely with the corners that we chose. And it will go just about like that. Put that up there. And this side's going to be a little harder to get up under there because there's all this stuff hanging over the edge. Had I done this initially the way I should have, wouldn't have been a problem. But look at that, you guys. Oh my word. It's gorgeous. So we are going to take this And I'm going to start right here. With my B7000, and I'm going to just start going around these rhinestones. Just like I did the edge of the heart for the rhinestone chain. I just need to know exactly how far up it has to come up on this side too. I'm just going to put it to right there. And I'm going to hope that I can kind of lay this. This is not going to be easy, you guys. I've got to set it down the same way I did the other stuff. And I'm just going to try and push it up against those rhinestones and hope I'm getting it in there enough. This one goes there, that much I do know, so we're just going to go from there and go up. Oh, I can see it now. Take our little toothpick here and make sure it's hugging those rhinestones. 1, 2, 3. And this one, this side we can do easily because I can see exactly what I'm doing. And I did put the adhesive right up to the exact right rhinestone. What do you know about that? And if I could only see this, I would be very happy. Looks like I got it all tucked in on that side too. So I'm gonna leave you guys for a few minutes here and let this just kind of set in for a few. And I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I think these are on here good enough. I did stick some hot glue on this, and this to get those into place before we resin them in. So that was the only other thing that I did. And I just wasn't sure how long that was going to take me or how easily they were going to place, which they went right in there. So it was a good thing. And I'm going to take my resin and I'm going to just gently drop some resin onto these. Like that. We're going to pop some right here at that pearl, and there's a rhinestone thing back there. And we're going to get all of these rhinestones resined. So you can see I'm just kind of going around all of them. And I got that, got that. And I will probably, once this is good and cured later on tonight, I will probably come in here to my craft room and flip this over and resin in all of the back side really well again too. But I'm going to be putting the whole thing in and working on getting it all resined in really, really well. So right now I'm going to stick that on top there. And I'm going to put this side on there. And we're going 5 minutes. And I'm going to lay this right in my lamp. And actually I'm not going to set it down quite yet because I want the bottom side to start to cure and not stick to that plastic piece that's at the bottom side of the heart, because if it sticks to that, it doesn't come off easily. So, and since I want to resin it from the top and the bottom, because I know then everything will stick a lot better, then I have to keep the silicone pad out of there so that it can grab both sides with the UV light. We'll just go for just a few minutes here. I'm going to get it good enough so that you guys can see it and you can see how well it's looking, and that it's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I'm trying to find this is my ball chain. We're going to put a decent sized length of ball chain on this, but not too crazy. That should be about good. And I'm going to say, let's see how long this is. This piece is about 8 inches. So it's almost exactly 8 inches. And then these are my clasps. So we're just going to grab one of those. That's all we need. And it's so pretty, you guys. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to take, actually, I can see I still need to let this cure a little bit more. I'm going to flip it over. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some resin on the back side here, since I'm going to have it flipped over, and right here, and I'm going to go along these little pearls, the dangly pearls, and I'm going to put resin all along those. And we're going to get this right back under that lamp and work on getting it cured. I'm going to hold it for just a minute because I do want to leave it flat, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we got it out of the lamp. I'm going to add our ball chain, and you can see when we widened those holes, it goes through them really, really easily, because really all we're doing to those holes is we're rounding them out, because they're more oblong than they are round, and so you have to round them out so that those balls can get through there easily. And they can slide. You know what I'm saying? They need to be able to be adjusted. And that's what that looks like. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is so, so beautiful. The only thing that I wish is that it didn't have as many bubbles in it as it does. Because of that last layer of resin that I put, I didn't use my torch. So that was a mistake, but it still is absolutely stunning and gorgeous. Look at that. I'm going to back off just a tad, and you can see it's just beautiful and sparkly, and wow. We've got a nice long chain to hang it from. Look at how pretty that would be either on your tree or on something that you hang on your, or that you sit on your mantle, that you want to hang it over, kind of drape it over it, or something like that. But oh my goodness. And that's what that resin looks like, where I put the mica powder in, the pink and white mica powders. Look at how gorgeous that looks. It almost looks like feathers in the resin. So, so beautiful, you guys. I just want to say thank you for watching to everyone, and thank you for all of your support, everyone. I appreciate you all so much, and keep the prayers coming. I need them, I need them, I need them. Hopefully you're like me and you believe in the power of prayer, And you know what? I feel good. I want to ask you guys. I know. Well, you know what? I'm gonna show this at the first part of the video. I'm gonna go ahead and do an intro right now, and I'll ask the question that I'm gonna ask. So by this time when you guys watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching the video. God bless each and every one of you. Be safe, be well, love your family, take care of yourself first, and give this a thumbs up, give it a like and a share, and smash that subscribe bell and the notification bell, the subscribe key and the notification bell, so that you'll get notified when I do new videos. And let's see if we can't get me up to 15,000 subscribers really, really fast, you guys. Thanks a lot. God bless you all. Bye-bye.